My name's Dallas Geo. I'm from Chalmette, Louisiana. Grew up mainly in New Orleans. Had a father and mother, and they divorced when I was about 12 or 13. Normal childhood, went to high school, graduated, and that's about when my drug use started. So after high school, I started working at my father's gas station during high school, and then after. I was planning to take it over. And at about 18, I started using crack cocaine. I used that from about 18 to 22. It got bad to where I had to leave the family business because there was no way I could stay working there. And from then on, I got arrested right around the same time that I quit working there, and had to go to a secular rehab for 30 days, Fontainebleau, actually down the road, and stayed clean for about 5 months. And then just got out and started working at a bar, and I started my bartending career then. As soon as around the same time I started bartending, I just woke up one day and decided to try heroin, and from that moment on started IVing it. I left the job, told them I was going on vacation. I wound up going out to another program. I stayed for 24 hours and then I left the program. When I got a bus ride back home, I had nowhere to go. I was literally homeless and nowhere to go. So the first place I knew to go was the crack house that I was getting the drugs from. So I went over there and wound up staying there for a month. And about 2 weeks in, I lost my job. Was staying there, searching for a job, manipulating family to try to get money to keep my habit going. After about 2 weeks of looking for a job, or telling the guy I was staying with looking for a job, he kicked me out. So I still had money in my pocket because I was manipulating family members and whatnot to do that. And so I literally got kicked out of the crack house with money in my pocket. So that's when you know you're pretty bad off and broken down. And when I got kicked out of there, I had nowhere to go. I called my mother, see if I could stay with her, and she said no. So I called my grandmother and I said, I just need a few days to find somewhere to go. After a day or two of looking around secular rehabs and looking at those, nobody could take me for like a month. It was either a month wait or go to detox first, which was $4,400, which is crazy because no heroin addict has $4,400. So then my mom had read in a newspaper article in St. Bernard Parish, there was this guy working with the police department, Stanley Simino, and he actually is the one I called, and then he brought me to the New Orleans Mission. I was not a believer when I came in. I knew I needed something different than a secular rehab because that had never worked, but I was also very closed-minded to the thought of God and Jesus and all these things. Like I said, I was a bartender, so if you said the words Jesus to me, it was like, get out of my face. When I came in though, my mission statement was just try something different for once. And so I came in with an open mind, and right away I still fought it. God knows I'm stubborn. So there was one morning where I was having cigarettes and coffee with somebody at like 4:30 in the morning. And then after that, later on that night, the preacher came up and did the whole sermon, and everything we had talked about that morning was talked about in the sermon. So I was like, whoa, these people got microphones or cameras or something around here, they're listening. And so God, knowing that I'm stubborn, he did that. That happened like, I want to say 12 more times over the next 2 weeks. And finally I was like, okay, I get it, enough. There's not that many coincidences. I just surrendered, and just been trying to grow in the faith ever since then, and it's been great. GHR has been fantastic. I used to play guitar, but I haven't played guitar in 5 years before I walked into the mission. I've been playing since I was 14. When I came out here, that was the first thing that caught my eye, was all the instruments and whatnot. And then in the last few months, I've been working in the office. I feel my calling is to be a Christian counselor, so that has helped me go forward in God's calling on my life. I get to help and do intakes and take people in and just see where they're at, and hopefully, I can inspire them by my story to try this and go forward to it, whether they're reconnecting with God or just a non-believer like I was. I used to see my family maybe twice a year, 3 times a year, go to family functions and be the guy passed out. I have my mother now coming to church here, It's just been great. Everybody's very happy to see where I'm at and see the honest change in me. I'm gonna continue to stay here. I'm gonna be a resident volunteer on campus, continue to work in the office and live here. I truly feel like God has put me in this place for a reason. I mean, we're all here for a reason, but I know that my calling is to work in ministry. So I'm just gonna continue forward with that, and we'll see where the good Lord takes me.